So if you guys are ready, let's take the cameras beneath the surface and get up close with these marine reptiles. Today we will be joined by technical dive specialists Mike Hanna and Brian O'Hara. Considered by most to be Kauai's best dive team, their expertise beneath the surface will help keep us safe, and their knowledge of the area's wildlife will assist in finding these large ocean reptiles. When people ask me what it's like to pull on my dive mask and sink below the waves, I once said it was a feeling of complete terror. However, with the passing of each accomplished dive, I became more and more comfortable. And when it came to searching for sea turtles, I couldn't get underwater fast enough. Despite being endangered, the green sea turtle is considered one of the most common sea turtle species, with a worldwide range that spans most of the tropical and subtropical oceans of the world. When it comes to population density in the waters of the United States, the Hawaiian Islands are without question the place to see these majestic reptilian creatures. So as we began to explore along the rocky underwater outcrops, it was only a matter of minutes before we came across our first sea dragon. In their adult stage, green sea turtles are mainly herbivores. And they spend a majority of their time foraging along rocky shelves, where they feast upon a variety of seagrasses and algae. Their serrated beaks work like pruning shears as they drift on the undercurrents and feast away. Males grow larger than the females, and one of the most distinct differences between the two is that the males, similar to snapping turtles, have much longer and more robust tails.
Wow, got some amazing behaviors there.
Giant male, saw the male and the female right next to each other, and the male's over here in the rocks feeding right now. What's great is that I was able to get a shot of them right next to each other so you can see the distinct difference in the tail size. Like I said, the males have a much larger tail than the females, so that was really cool to see. I'm gonna kind of hang out in this area and see if he moves back out.
Oh, there he is.
You see him?
Yep. He's in the same spot.
Same spot.
Let's
go.
go.
Okay, cool, going down.
With the camera in my hand, I used the power of my dive fins to fight the current. I was determined to get some epic shots. Interacting with sea turtles is far different than any other turtle species I have worked with in the past. You certainly are not allowed to catch or even touch these majestic reptiles, as strict regulations require you to keep a respectful distance. So to make this episode work, we simply had to admire the animals as they naturally interacted with their environment.
Wow, this is awesome. So we have a female green sea turtle that's just hiding underneath a rock right now, actually down there resting. Now they can stay underwater for a considerable amount of time, close to 30 minutes when they aren't moving around. So we're just gonna kind of stay in this area, keep an eye on her, and when she gets ready to come for a breath of air, we're gonna try to get her come to the surface.
As I sank back beneath the rolling waves, my dive fins propelled me forward. I maneuvered past a reef, up and over some large rocks, and suddenly, before my very eyes, I found myself in the city of sea turtles. Trust me when I say that seeing a single sea turtle can steal your heart. So being in the presence of many sea turtles at once is absolutely breathtaking. They were peaceful, sentient beings, and their calm demeanor reminded me of the time I swam with manatees. Here I was again, a bipedal stranger once more in a foreign watery land. and I was being accepted into their world with completely open arms. Or in this case, flippers. I was literally surrounded by these giant ocean dragons, as they seemed to effortlessly glide on the underwater currents. As a human, it took every ounce of my strength to keep balanced in the turbulent water, as my body was constantly being tossed and turned, pummeled and dragged over the jagged rocks. Yet I was determined to get the shots. Keep the turtles in the frame is all I kept telling myself as they danced around me, looking back with curious eyes and a kindness that I had never before seen in a reptile. For nearly 30 minutes I rode the currents, witness to a complete turtle feeding frenzy. Being no more than a few feet from the surface, I was in no danger of drowning. However, my dive tank was running low on its precious life-providing air, so I decided to call it a day. I knew that despite the washing machine-like setting, I had some amazing footage and an animal encounter that could never be replaced. As we kicked toward shore and our designated exit point, we left behind a world unlike anything I had ever been witness to. A society of reptiles that was thriving in a watery paradise.
Woo! Talk about swimming in Turtle City.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely one of the coolest things I've ever done. Takes me back to the days that we filmed with the manatees. At one point, we were surrounded by green sea turtles.
And they like accepted us.
Yeah.
They were swimming right alongside us. Like you would try to swim away and then they would stick with you.